This is a 2006 Princess 67. Now there's a couple of very interesting things about this. Firstly, this is actually a charter boat. It's operated by Approved Boats in Southampton. So if you fancy a day out, I'll put a link to their website in the description and you could charter this and go enjoy it. They don't send you out on your own, don't worry, they'll send you out with a skipper and crew. But yeah, this is a great way to experience motor yachting, and this is a great boat to do it on because although it's 2006, so it's not the very cutting edge of style and technology, there's a certain class and warmth to these in terms of the styling and just the general feel of them that I think is lovely. So for example, you don't get the high-low bathing platform you get on the latest boats, but you do still get the jet ski on the back, and there's a rib on the top, and it uses a crane, which I'll show you when we go up on the Flybridge, to lift these on and off. So as I say, things have moved on a little bit, but you'll see when we go inside this one just how lovely it is. And the wind has suddenly picked up, hopefully you didn't get too much of a wind blast there. This is the cockpit. We've got the canopies on at the moment. Of course, these all come off and just leave you with the overhang for a bit of shade. And I'll kick my shoes off and I'll give you the full tour. Now, the first thing you find is these doors here that open really wide, so you can get a nice big opening through there. And this is very much of the era of Princess were doing the lovely, warm, high gloss cherry. Now, as I say, it's not the absolute latest fashion, but it's warm and it's lovely, and with this cream leather in here, I just think it's really, really nice. And this boat in particular, as I say, she's a 67, so she's nearly 70 foot long. Just feels so spacious. There's a real proper motor yacht feel to this. It feels a step up from a sort of motor cruiser style into the proper motor yacht. And you get things like, for example, the internal staircase up to the Flybridge, which is nice. You don't see those anymore. TV is here. You've got things like the bar area over here, so the glasses are in here. There's a fridge then underneath, like so. As I mentioned, it's got all the cream leather, so really comfortable and lovely. And if we head up here, the galley, of course they're all galley aft these days. On this one, the galley is in the centre, and that's quite nice because it caters then straight across to this dinette. So you can sit around here and eat, and it means that your saloon area is kept completely separate. A couple of steps down there, and that then connects nicely with the cockpit. So there's a lot to be said for that layout. I've got to show you this. I don't do this anymore, but you see how you can see through here? If I hit this button, it goes opaque. It does the same thing at the back as well. So the idea is if you have crew, you can just get a little bit more privacy, or hit it the other way and you've got clear screens there that you can see through if you're operating the boat yourself. And people do operate these themselves. I know a chap who's got one of these down in the Med, and he and his family go down and enjoy it very much without a crew. But you do often find crew, of course, on this sort of size, and this one, certainly being a charter boat, is crewed. Now if we go into here, what have we got? This is very Princess, the way you've got all of the nice crockery all slotted in there with these to hold everything in place. That's lovely. There's a huge fridge freezer just here. Well stocked, as you can see. And then, of course, things like dishwasher, that lives in there. We've got the sink, we've got all electric cooking as you'd expect, 4-burner hob. I mean, it's proper big boat stuff, isn't it? And then a load more storage. So cutlery, for example, in there. Lovely. And if we head on around here then, this has all been retrimmed. I love this black diamond stitched leather helm seats. They look really businesslike, don't they? That's fantastic. What have we got here? We have got switch panels down underneath here, so all the circuit breakers for the 24-volt systems are there, fresh water. You've got battery switches there as well, that kind of thing. And then down underneath, that one then is the AC power, so that's your shore power. That's running from the marina when you're plugged in, or running from the generator when that's fired up. So that's things like the air conditioning, like the outlets and the barbecue and all that kind of stuff. All of the navigational equipment on here is original from 2006. All works perfectly apparently. So again, it looks slightly old-fashioned compared to the modern touchscreens, but it's all there, all works, it's colour screen. That of course is your multifunction display. You've got depth and you've got speed. All the engine instrumentation is along here, and then down here you've got things like the autopilot, and you've got the bow and stern thruster. So you see, that's shaped like a boat. You can actually then move that, so that's the bow. to the starboard, that's the stern to starboard. You push the whole boat sideways. That's quite nice, gives you a nice sort of pictorial of exactly what you want to do with the boat. Throttle levers over here, trim tabs, VHF radio and so on. And you've also got a side door on this one, so you can step straight out onto the side deck. Again, really good with a crew, because it means they can come and go straight through there without going through the saloon. But you really get a sense of the size of the boat again from here. It's, as I say, it's a proper little motor yacht, isn't it? Let's head on through a bit further. We'll head down to the lower deck. This is one of the air conditioning controls. You'll find these dotted around the whole boat. Now on this one, what's nice is, although it's nearly 70 foot, it's a 3 cabin layout. So they've not tried to cram too much in, and so everywhere is really spacious. If we head up to the bow first of all, so this is a guest cabin, but look at the floor space in here. It's huge. Again, that lovely polished cherry woodwork. You've got a little dressing area over here. So move that one out of the way, like so. And in fact, what's quite clever is they've hidden stools under the bed. So these pull out like so. So you can use those then for sitting at this dressing table or for putting around the table for a bit of extra seating, that kind of stuff. This, as you would imagine, is all storage in places like this. It's around here, it's down here, there's big drawers down underneath the bed as well. It's around on this side, there's huge wardrobes too, look at this. Robes for if guests are staying overnight. Lovely, and then this has got its own ensuite. And that's in here. Again, really generous size. You've got the separate shower stall. So that is in here. It's a blind that drops down over the window there. And then that closes off like so. And then the toilet here, sink. And again, as you'd expect, there's storage dotted around all over the place. There we go, a little wave in the mirror. We've not done that for a while, have we? I keep forgetting. Okay, let's head on back a bit further. So we'll come back out to this lobby area. Again, air conditioning controls, lighting controls and so on. If we head over onto this side, this is cabin 3. So you've got single beds in here. And again, just lovely and spacious. They've not tried to cram too much in. So you've got headroom, you can see right through the whole cabin all the way. So you don't feel compromised, even though this is the smallest cabin in the boat. It feels like a really nice big space. And this one has got its ensuite back here. So each cabin has its own ensuite. This is actually the day heads. So during the day, there's another doorway straight from the main passageway, that's there. And at night, this is exclusively for this cabin. There's another wardrobe there. And then again, loads of storage about the place. So all up underneath here, for example, this is all storage down between the bed and so on. So that's that one. If we head on back a bit further then, this is the owner's cabin, although I suppose on a charter, it's whoever's paid for the charter's cabin. Look at that, full beam of the boat, palatial. Very nice indeed, wonderful dressing area over on this side with a little stool. This is the sort of thing you find, of course, on the modern boats. These windows are all great big one piece. At this time, they were only just starting to put hull windows in, so they're in separate sections, as you can see here. In a way, it's quite nice because you do end up with a big opening section, and that's on both sides. So you can get plenty of air through here, whereas with the big one-piece windows, you tend not to get that quite so much. Lovely big dressing area here. There is, again, a load of storage about a place. I won't open them all, but you get the idea. And reading lights. And there's lovely windows again. I like this settee down here. Lovely place to come and tuck yourself away. And the floor space, again, it just feels huge. I mean, you really do feel like you're on a bigger boat. That's really nice. TV in here, as you'd expect. And then over here, I mentioned we're in Southampton. We're in Ocean Village, actually. Let's have a look at that the window at Ocean Village. There we go. Very nice too. Okay, as you'd expect, there is an ensuite. I didn't show you the wardrobe. Let's have a quick look at the wardrobe as we're passing. That's in here. So again, it's just huge, isn't it? Very nice. And a load of drawers down here. It's home from home stuff, isn't it? It's the sort of boat you come and spend a couple of months on really comfortably. And this one has its ensuite just up in here. There we go. Acres of floor space. Vast. Vacuum flush toilets, a bit like you have on an aircraft. And then if we come around here, you can see it's got a really big separate shower area. And again, of course, it all closes off. So you have that as a completely separate shower and keep everything else dry. Lovely. Love this finish on here. It's almost like three-dimensional. It feels like these gold leaf bits are just sort of dropped in and sunk. Brilliant. And for a 2006 boat, as I say, it's not cutting edge, but it does have a warmth to it. It really does. I like that very much. Okay, we're going to spin on round. The last thing to show you on this level is in here, because this, again, brilliant if you're spending a lot of time on the boat, and brilliant as well from a charter perspective, because you've got acres of space for bedding, and you've also then got the washing machine down underneath. Perfect. And these, they're actually catches, so when you push that, it clicks shut. But if you're at sea, you can then push that in and it locks it. So that's quite clever. Okay, we will head on back up and we'll take a turn around the decks, and we will take a look at the Flybridge and then finish off. There's a crew cabin on this one, and of course the engine space. This is the internal stairway up to the Flybridge. So there's a door there. We'll see the other side of that in a moment. If we head out here, I will pop my shoes back on. This has all been reupholstered across here, so it looks really smart. It's in two-tone grey, so you've got the light grey with the darker grey underneath. That's smart. That looks good. And then we'll head out this way. Look how deeply bulwarked these side decks are. You really feel like you're in the boat even when you're out here. This is what I was saying earlier about it being sort of proper motor yacht stuff. And it's a big walk from one end to the other. It is a big boat. Sunbathing cushions up here. Again, this is of the era before you started to get the seating areas up here. But it's a very nice area. You've got reupholstered sunbeds on there as well, so that's nice. And look at the bulwarks, the way that these come up around the sides. Again, you feel very secure as you walk around it. And then your anchor, rather than hanging over the front, goes down through here. The size of these cleats as well. And these big fair leads for the warps to go through. Let's come right up to the bow and take a look back. That is, I think you'll agree, a nice looking boat, isn't it? Superb. That's the hatch over the forward cabin. These are for fenders. You can drop fenders into here. Again, look at the size of these cleats. The deck gear on here is fantastic. If I put my hand on there, you can get an impression of the size. It's huge. Very nice. Let's go look at that Flybridge. And then we will look at the lazarette and the crew cabin. And we'll call that a pretty comprehensive tour. Okay, so these steps here take us on up. This has again all been reupholstered with this grey two-tone upholstery. If we go right to the back, there's a pretty big rib on the back of here. Again, really useful if you're on a charter, because for running guests ashore, that kind of thing, it's ideal. And this is the crane that lifts it on and off. So that picks it up, drops it over and lowers it in. 40 horsepower outboard on there, so that's a decent sized engine. And that is also used for lifting the jet ski on and off the back. And then if we come back this way a little bit, you can see the radar arch, and you've got things like the radar reflector, the radar itself, searchlight, nav lights, all that kind of stuff is up there. There's a bimini as well. That's why it's got this framework. It's off at the minute because it's winter, but that's what that is for. And then there's a load of seating up here around this table and all the way around here. Very, very social area. Up here, this is storage in underneath here. There's a wet bar underneath with the electric griddle. And this one over here, that's a fridge. And then finally the upper helm position, so twin helm seats. There's the multi-function display again, that's underneath that white cover. All the engine instrumentation is across here. Engine controls, VHF radio, all that kind of stuff. And just an amazing view out. Look at that, standing here, you can imagine this powering down the coast, big swathes of spray coming out. What a great event. Just fantastic. I'm quite tempted to charter this for myself now. And this is Ocean Village Marina, looking very lovely in the winter sunshine. And an aeroplane coming into Southampton Airport. Let's stop and look at the aeroplane. I'm a simple boy. Fantastic. Okay, let's go and find the crew cabin, and then we'll finish up with the engines. So we're back down here. I didn't show you, that is the internal access up through to this deck. And this closes down. I mentioned these before. That enables you to enclose this lower area. And this is what I mean about when you've got the covers on, as we've got here. With that shut, this becomes like another day space, but all protected. Superb. This all opens up, as you would imagine, so there's leaves that lift on both sides of that. The crew cabin then is back underneath this one. So what we need to do is move these cushions down the way. Maggie's with me today. Look, she's not been out looking at boats for a while, so we decided to give Maggie a day out and leave Jack at home. That one we can just drop off like so, and then that lifts. We need to lift this one up as well. Hang on, there we go. There we are. And that then is the crew cabin. It's actually quite a decent size. You've got two beds in there, you've got a wardrobe, there's a second toilet and shower down the back. And yeah, for a sub 70-foot boat, that's pretty good. Window in there as well, so a bit of ventilation. Just the job, isn't it? Right, let's drop that one back down. Pop that back up on there. If we come over here, this is through to the lazarette, so this is just a big storage area. Also, there we go, generator lives down here as well. So boat canopies, boat gear, that kind of stuff, that can all go in there. And that's the generator just across there. And then the final hatch is this one. Let's twist again, like we did last summer. Here we go. Now these are a pair of MAN V10 diesel engines. They're 1,100 horsepower each. Big old beasts. They're going to give this, I would imagine, about 30 knots. It's got to be up around that sort of area with this much power. And range, well, typically at high speeds, 300 miles, somewhere around there I would guess. And obviously a lot further if you drop the speed right back. They're shaft drive, so you've got the gearboxes on the back of the engines, and then you can see the shafts going out down here. And then you've got things like the air conditioning systems are all racked out over there. There's cruise air boxes. Batteries are out in that box on the other side. Fuel filters are back here. And so forth. Big chunky engines, aren't they? That's a fire extinguishing system there. Some people sometimes say, well, that's no good. If you've got a fire, how can you get to it? Well, it's automatic and has a remote fire off as well, so you don't need to get in here to use that. And hopefully you'll never need to, obviously. Good. There we go. Let's come back out of here. Drop that fella back down. Oh, we've got to go back into this lovely interior, haven't we? Beautiful. Let's go to the helm. And there we are. I know what everyone's going to say. They're going to say, oh yeah, I'd love to charter that. How much is it? To which I'll say, have a look on Approved Boats website, on their charter site, and all the prices apparently are on there. I'll put a link in the description, and you can see for yourself. Let me know if you charter it. Let me know how you get on. Huge thanks to Approved Boats for organising this tour. Huge thanks to you guys for watching. We'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.